Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends what time you're watching this video. So a lot of people ask if we are going to Bali, how would the uh, day-to-day itinerary look like? So we are trying to take you through this video. By the way, I'm in Ubud currently, and what I'll try and do is that take you through the journey, starting from the very basics, from ticket booking, hotels and all that, and some perhaps healthy pointers which can, help you to plan your journey as you go ahead. So let's get started. Okay, while booking the tickets, of course, you do not have direct flights from India if you're watching from India. If you're watching from abroad, it depends which part of the world you are in. So if you are essentially from India, and what you really need to do is that break the journey. Don't put a roundabout cost. What you need to do is that go to Skyscanner, go to Kayak, go to Momondo, go to Make My Trip and put one side of the journey. That's number one. Number two, if you are a group of 2, group of 3, group of 4, ideally do not book 2 tickets at one go. The reason is that there's a dedicated video that also explains that, because typically seats are sold in buckets, which means suppose there are buckets of 10 seats available of lower price, whereas you are 11 people. So what they will do is that they will automatically move you to the next highest bracket. Hence, you will end up paying the second lot higher prices, which otherwise you would have saved had you booked in small installments. So that's one. So 2 handy tips here. One, book one side at a go and don't book multiple tickets at a time. The other thing, of course, go beyond the standard Make My Trips of the world. Try and explore Agoda and all that. So all our hotel bookings. So we will have a dedicated video explaining all the hotels that we have stayed in. So you go to Agoda, booking.com and all that. So you get fantastic deals also. So typically we stayed for almost 10 nights in various parts of Kuta, Ubud and all across 3 different hotels. And on an average price that we paid was 5,000 rupees per night. Please do your calculation if you are a different part of the world. And it included breakfast, it included Wi-Fi, it included taxes, and it included actually space for 4. So my kids are 13 now, they are twins, so they are 13 now. So essentially people, they treat 4 as, 13 as adults. So for 4 adults on an average we paid 5,000 INR. So I think that's a pretty okay deal. And yeah, so that's where as far as the hotel tips is concerned. Now typically the first day when you land up here, you would definitely be tired. Check in, take a Grab, take a Gojek. These are 2 essential apps. There is a dedicated video available on 10 things to do that, or 10 things that you should keep in mind before you come to Bali. So download those apps, get into your hotel and take a couple of hours of rest, 3 hours of rest, 4 hours of rest. In the evening, go to the night market around Kuta. I assume you will start off with Kuta. If not, make changes accordingly. We landed up in Kuta. We stayed in Kuta because we thought, okay, anyway, we have taken 8-10 hours of journey. It doesn't make sense to again drive 1.5 hours to Ubud and stay there. But you can take your pick. But this is what we did. So we went into the hotel around 1ish time here, and we slept for 4-5 hours. And in the evening, we went around and we did a night market around, jumping around and tasting some local foods also. So day 1, when you have finally reached and all that, so that perhaps I count day 0. So technically the day 1 is when you will be actually finding some time to jump around. So the first thing that you do perhaps in the first half of the day, go and do water sports. Don't book from Klook. I will leave the name of the location there. Go to that place, take a Grab or Gojek and book it locally. That's number 1. You will have multiple water sports to do there. Go and book and negotiate locally. That's number 1. In the evening, you come back by 2:30. You start by 8:30, 8:39. When you come back by around... Hey, hi. How are you? Say hi.
Good. You wave.
Yeah, I know. You good? Good. Oh, great. You come on video. You said you give good massage.
Hi, I give him good massage.
Okay, so that was a good friend of ours who manages a massage parlor here. So that's how it is. Okay, so in the evening, by the time you come down to 2:33, take a couple of hours of rest, in the evening go to the afternoon or evening safari. So that will take you the whole evening. The cost is non-negotiable. It's around 11 lakh per adult and 8 lakh 80 per children. So that's how the cost for this works out. We tried negotiating all across, but we couldn't. And the sad part is that we tried to record, and the recording also gone for a toss. So there you get to see the animals. They will put you into a cage. Animals will jump around and all that. It's a lovely place to be in. So that's how you day end technically the first day. The next day is the day when you do Nusa Penida, which is the second day. Now, there are two elements to do that. One, if you include snorkeling, there's a cost, and to it, for 4 of us, the best negotiated cost was 25 lakh IDR. Am I saying it right? Yeah, 25 lakh IDR for 4 of us. That would have included snorkeling in 3 places, plus 3 more island visits. Now, we didn't do that because one, we have anyway done snorkeling. There's a Maldives series available. Please go and see it if you find some time. That's one. And the other, of course, is that we were planning to do something else, and we wanted to save that money. So what we did instead was that we did a 4 island visit, and we paid around 18 lakh for that. Again, in IDR. Please do your conversions. Typically, if you're watching from India, 1 lakh IDR is around 550 rupees. So you can do your math. All these are cheap if you are doing it from locally. I can put the local reservation guy, the guy who was doing it for us, that guy's number also. If you want, go ahead and check, show the video. He might know us because we have taken a lot of stuff from him. If it works, go ahead and do that. So that's your day 2. Nusa Penida is wonderful. They will take you on a private ferry. They will take you to a Nusa Island. From there, a car will pick you up and take you through all those snorkeling points to the islands and all that. Mind blowing. You should not miss that. So that's the next day for you. So the next day, you essentially spend in and around the beaches of Kuta area. So first you go to Malasti beach, pretty okay beach. Then you go to Suluban beach, which is more of a surfer's paradise. After that, they will take you to Uluwatu temple, where you get to see the Kechak dance also, which is mind-blowing. There's a dedicated video which shouldn't be coming, if not already, if you're seeing it late. And after that, you go to Jimbaran beach, where you have your dinner. So essentially, these are packages which you can book. So honestly, we paid a lot more. We paid something around 10,000 INR in India, which easily we would have got around 5,500-6,000 rupees. The mistake that I did was that I accidentally booked it on Klook, and I paid for it also. I didn't realize. So please don't do it. You can book it locally at a much cheaper rate. So that's the next day for you. So after spending few days in Kuta now, you move towards Ubud. Now you negotiate with a taxi driver. He will drop you to Ubud, but in between he will show you few places. One, of course, you go to see the coffee plantation. That will taste you the Luwak coffee and all. Coffee tasting is free, but if you want to separately order some coffee, they will charge you some money. There will be videos available already. If not, I'm saying this because I don't know when will I post this video. So pardon me saying every time the same thing over and over again. So that's one. Once you have seen the coffee plantation, they will take you to the Bali swing, to the rice terrace. Then lastly, you should do the water park, as in the water rafting, white water rafting. That's brilliant. Now, what are the costs? Coffee plantation, 0 cost unless you want to order coffee. You want to get into Bali swing, the cost of swing is around 2 lakh, and the entry is 25,000 per person, IDR all, everything in IDR. Once you get into water rafting, we negotiated again directly, and the cost came for 4 of us to roughly around 10 lakh IDR. So that's how the cost came for the water rafting. Amazing. 2.5 hours of rafting, it's pure crazy. So that's where it is. That will take you the next day. While you complete all of that, the taxi that you would have taken would cost between 3 to 3.25 lakh IDR again for doing this drop and roaming around from Kuta to Ubud to all these places. So largely you have a taxi cost, you have a Bali swing cost, you have a Bali swing entry cost, you have a rice terrace field which is included in that. You get a coffee plantation, which is zero, and you end up getting into also the water rafting, where the cost is between 9 to 10 million for 4 of us. That was our cost, around 10 million, say 10 lakh. That was the cost for all of us. And yeah, so that's where it is. I'll put on the side all the costs, because typically on the road we are making these videos, so that's how it is. So that's the next day when you finally reach Ubud, where you rest the night. So technically on your second day on Ubud, of course you have to start with as early 4:35 if you really want those photographs done at Lempian temple and the gateway to heaven and all that. We went pretty late. The token number was close to around 400. So we somehow managed to take a photograph. That's a different story altogether. I'm not getting into the further detail. So entry is around 1 lakh IDR per person. So that's where. Of course, you negotiate for a cab, and the cab taking to all these places would charge 7.5 lakh IDR for you. So that's number one. Number two, after you have done that gateway of heaven, you go to Tirtha Ganga, where you feed the fishes and all that. It's pretty decent. The cost for 4 of us for entry was around 1,25,000 for 4 of us. The kids less than 12 were charged a certain rate, and the adult were charged a certain rate. So that's where it is as far as Tirtha Ganga is concerned. And then you take you to multiple waterfalls depending upon how much of time you have and all that. So all this would cost you the entire day. The taxi taking you around would cost between 6.5 to 7.5 lakh IDR. Negotiate again directly. It always makes sense, because if you add Klook to it, Klook normally was turning out to be very, very expensive. The next day, if you find time and if you're still in Ubud, try the ATV. But the only thing is that while ATV, try and book it through Klook, because Klook for a change, the ATV is much cheaper. So that's something you have to keep in mind. That's number one. The other thing, of course, is that my children were 13, so they were not allowed to do an ATV. We tried 3 places. When you see the longer form of videos, you will get to see that. We've tried 3 places, none of them allowed them to go and try an ATV. So that's how it works. So that's the next day when you are in Ubud. So on the last day, typically, this did not be your last day, but what was our last day is that we divided the day into 2 parts. One, on the morning, we went towards Berugul. Berugul is like a hill station here. Now, if we will have a dedicated video on Berugul, where actually we love the place. It's so good, in fact. So that will take close to around 3 hours to reach from Bali. We will be well from Kuta, in fact. So that you can do. It's a wonderful place. It's a superb lake and all that. In fact, I have had the option, if I had known earlier, to be very honest, I would have stayed back there. So that you can do. And the second half of the day, there are a couple of temples that you can see while you're coming back. But you end the day in the evening at Tenalot. In fact, this is the place where we are actually shooting. Let me show you the place. So this is Tenalot where we are shooting, and these had a superb temple and a wonderful sunset. The only goof up happened in our case, of course, is that we managed to catch rains. But nevertheless, you can always come in on time. Perhaps it's not raining, and that's how you come and spend the rest part of the day, do a fantastic view of the evening sunset, and perhaps end your Bali tour. So this is what the last day for us looked like, and I'm sure you can also do a mishmash of what you have seen so far.